Coming up this Saturday up on Long Island, NCAA Tournament quarterfinal, Maryland taking on Duke. Joining us now, one of the top defensemen in the country. He is Maryland's Ajax Zappitello, and he's with us here on GCR. Ajax, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Hey, man, we'll go forward. We got to go back in order to go forward, right? That's the way that it works. Let's go back a little ways. Of course, you come from a natural lacrosse hotbed, right? Like, everybody knows that Oregon is just – that's where they breed lacrosse players. Can you give me your background, your history, how you came to the game, where your tenacity came from to become one of the most hellish defensemen everyone's going to see?
Yeah, no, that's awesome that you say that. No, it's obviously coming from the state of Oregon, specifically Portland. It's been definitely a unique experience, especially having so many of my teammates come from such local areas like MIA schools and everything like that. Not too much of a story behind it. One of my best friends, Chop, who plays at Towson, his older brother, who used to play at Michigan, kind of introduced me to the sport and really got me hooked. And, their dad coached me growing up along with my dad and everything like that. First generation lacrosse player for my family. It's been awesome. It's been really cool. I will say, kind of whenever I talk about this, it is a unique experience for me just because, I get to represent an entire state when I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a tight-knit and very small community, lacrosse is in general, but then when you look at just where I'm coming from, it's magnified even more to how small and tight-knit that lacrosse community really is. And it just speaks volume to everything that the great sport of lacrosse has done for me, and it's done for so many other kids. It's very cool seeing some of the other Oregon kids have great success at all the levels. Even some of the guys in the pros now, it's been really fun to see.
It's easy to understand. You mentioned Chop. It's easy to understand how somebody falls in love with the idea of, hey, I can go score goals and the excitement. It's a different thing to fall in love with being someone who's just your job is to harass people, right? Where did that come from? Where did your passion for playing defense specifically come from?
I played a bunch of sports growing up, and obviously super competitive. I played competitive AAU basketball growing up, and was never the best offensive player.
Okay.
Just because some of those kids were only playing basketball year round. So it's like, all right, what else can I be really good at? And defense was definitely one of those things. And it's funny, someone who I really look up to and have for years now is I don't know if you know Aaron Kraft. He was a Ohio State basketball player, but just a small white guard, and he was, you look at his highlights, and half of his highlights aren't him scoring; it's him taking charges. And kind of just having that mindset, all right, this is what I got to do to help my team win, everything like that. But it really just boils down to having just that mindset, all right, I'm not going to be as big, as strong as the other guys. So what can I do really well at? And for me, I've worked on my footwork over the years, and obviously having great coaches like Dusty Bernhardt and some of my high school coaches, it definitely helps a lot when you get that experience after a few years and you're able to kind of just really hone in on it and focus on it. And at the same time, it's a team defense. Like all those guys, I think we got a chip on our shoulder for sure. We definitely got some guys who are with some hockey backgrounds, looking at Will Schaller specifically. It's a fun combination when you get a rough group down there that just loves physical contact and hitting people.
He is Ajax Zappitello, the All-American from Maryland. He's with us here on GCR. Ajax, what's it like? So we saw this, say, on Saturday against Princeton, where, you get a check, it's one thing, but you had a rip the other day that led to a yard sale. What is that feeling like when somebody thinks they've got you beat and you're just like, nah, dude, it ain't happening today?
Sometimes it's a little lucky. Sometimes it's our coach doesn't love us throwing checks. So at the end of the day, obviously not trying to do it too much, but yeah, it's an awesome feeling, especially when you've worked all week for that moment. I think it all starts honestly with the scout guys giving us a great look, and I'm going up against some really great players, and so when it translates over to the game, it just makes that transition much easier, as opposed to if I wasn't getting a great look from the scout guys every day, which I am. So yeah, I mean, it's an awesome feeling. It's why you play the sport. It's just like that rush of adrenaline, everything like that. It's awesome. It's why you play.
Ajax, so wearing the number 1 at the University of Maryland, what has that meant to you this season? I know, in recent times we've seen this now with defensive players wearing the number 1, but it's still somewhat rare at this point in Maryland lacrosse history. What has that meant to you this season? How important has that been to you?
Yeah, I mean, anytime someone asks me about that, obviously that was never the end goal when I was coming here, but it's such an honor and such a privilege. I mean, you look at the long list of guys that have worn it before me, even the guys that I played with alone, and Jared Bernhardt, Logan Wisnauskas, and Brett Madekar, and all those guys were great lacrosse players, but at the same time, they're all just great dudes. Guys that you wanted to be around, guys that would do, they truly embodied be the best in every single way. So just to kind of be even in that list of names is an honor and a privilege. It's funny, obviously very close with Brett and those guys.
Yeah.
And, even still having Jared in our locker room, it's been awesome just to be able to bounce ideas off of him, because, the number does come with a lot, but at the end of the day, it is just a number, and we're lucky just to be playing the sport we love. So in short, it's been awesome. It's been a privilege. It's something I'm going to be able to tell my kids about, which is really cool and unique. And it's just grateful that Coach Tillman and the rest of the coaching staff and the guys, kind of trusted me with that number to wear it with honor.
You guys had some up and downs this season, obviously. To put it all together for the performance that you guys had against Princeton last week, how much confidence does that give your group now as you head in towards Duke on Saturday?
Yeah, I think all year we were facing adversity. I think Coach Tillman does a great job of scheduling a hard schedule. It's something that you want, especially for looking at your resume when it comes to selection time on Sunday. And so, that's why you come to a school like this, to play in tough games, to play in competitive games. You're playing on national television almost every week, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, it gives us a lot of confidence moving forward. Obviously, we've kind of been harping that, like, we know what this group is capable of since we got to campus in fall. And, right now, obviously, the offense was starting to click last week. But at the same time, we just got to be ready to go. We're facing a new beast. Obviously, a lot of props to Princeton. They did some things really well. And, we're going to face some new challenges this week with a really good and talented Duke team. And so we just got to execute the game plan. And it honestly just boils down to following what the coaches put into place. Obviously Coach Tillman's a mastermind, and so is Jesse Bernhardt and Coach Phipps and Tim Obransky. And, everybody's fully bought into, all right, they established that game plan. If we follow and stick to it, we're most likely going to find success with that. So it's really just staying true to ourselves, the game plan, and just at the end of the day playing like Terps. I thought we were much tougher than we looked all season, especially in the ground. And it's really just getting back to that and staying and focusing on that.
It's been a long time, right, since you guys have played Duke. You got to go back to, 2021, I guess, was the last time.
Yep.
Brendan O'Neill was on that team. I know you guys probably try to do like the nameless, faceless thing as you get ready, but as a defenseman, how much do your juices get flowing knowing that you're going to be going up against a dude like that and that type of skill set? And that matchup for lacrosse fans this week is just going to be, chef's kiss, bro.
Yeah. No, he's obviously a really talented player. It's funny, like even our defensive coordinator, he played with him at the World Games, so he even know what it's like to play with him and everything. And we also we get to scrimmage them every fall, which is great. So we definitely know what we're going up against. He's obviously a really talented player, but at the same time, it just boils down to following Jesse's game plan and playing Maryland defense, which is something we really pride ourselves on. It's obviously going to be a really competitive game. I think, you ask anybody, it's going to be the place to be on Saturday, just for what it means for so many guys. We're both playing for our seasons and our lives. So it's just that much more heightened, and it's going to be an awesome environment, awesome atmosphere.
No doubt about it. It's going to be outstanding and a must-watch television and clearly a must-watch matchup. I know that's what you're worried about right now. I do want to make sure I bring it up because, you know, we're Whipsnakes fans now. They're the Maryland Whipsnakes. That's the way that it goes. We're going to be rooting for the Whips. What did that mean to you to hear your name last week and the moment and to celebrate that?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Obviously, you know, kind of like the number one, it was never the end goal coming here. It was like, all right, can I just play here? But it's been nothing short of awesome. I have such a great support staff from, you know, my parents to my teammates to the coaches, everyone around me. It's an awesome group to have supporting you and you know, lifting you up. And just to be surrounded by the guys that, you know, I came in with and started my college career here. And, you know, as it comes to a close, being surrounded by those guys and celebrating with them was, you know, something I'm super grateful for and very appreciative of those guys. And, you know, all the Whipsnake guys were awesome, a bunch of them reaching out because, you know, obviously a lot of them are Maryland alums. So already having that connection was awesome. And, you know, just super excited to stay home and continue to play lacrosse. It's, you know, super fortunate for myself that I get to be able to do that. So, you know, just not taking it for granted and soaking it all in.
No doubt, man. We're very excited about it and can't wait to see that. But first, can't wait for this weekend and obviously Duke on Saturday. Ajax, where can Maryland fans be giving you a follow on social media? Are you on Twitter, Instagram, anything like that?
Yeah, I think my Instagram is Ajax Zappitello, pretty vanilla, but if you can spell Zappitello right, hopefully you can find it. And then I think Ajax Zap4 on Twitter.
It's kind of nice to have a name that's not very common in order to be able to just claim the Instagram handle before anybody else is able to get it. It works out well.
Exactly.
Hey, Ajax, dude, it's been a thrill watching you play. Hoping that there's 3 more games of watching you play coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll look forward to what's next with the Whipsnakes after that. Congratulations on everything. Best of luck against Duke on Saturday. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, and appreciate talking with you.